Today's show is brought to you by two of our favorite organizations, the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh and the Allegheny County Library Association. September marks 10 years of their joint program, Love Your Library. It's really a county-wide celebration where your donation during the month of September will be partially matched and helps keep essential services going. So everything from books and materials to facility improvements and programs for all. If you use the library system, show your love and donate now at loveyourlibrary.org. CityCast Pittsburgh is supported today by the Heinz History Center and their newest exhibition, Pittsburgh's Hidden History. It is a cornucopia of curiosity, a magical menagerie of memory, and a little bit of this and that. There are flowery couches, relics from Kennywood, even a collection of shivs. If you listen to this show a lot, you know we are loving this. It is truly mind-boggling to see how the curators brought together such a wide range of rarely seen artifacts to tell Pittsburgh stories like never before. To buy your tickets and learn more, visit HeinzHistoryCenter.org. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, there is a lot to do ahead of the NFL draft in April, and that includes redding up our junky hillsides before company comes over. Today, I'm bringing back my conversation with a professional picker-upper, the Allegheny Cleanways, to talk about why exactly Pittsburgh gets so dirty. Some of it's not our fault, which neighborhoods maybe need a little more love, and how you can help. Not because of the NFL. For us, we are cleaning it up for us. It's Monday, September 15th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with Kaylee Gruby, the Executive Director of Allegheny Cleanways. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Same, Megan.
Tell me about Pittsburgh's trash problem. I guess how bad is it here in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think a lot of your listeners probably know we have a little issue with trash. They've seen it on highways, major roads, vacant lots, and it's pretty significant in Pittsburgh. And I think that there's a couple reasons why. One is that our geography makes it really challenging. We have all these steep slopes and hidden valleys, dense tree cover. It's really easy to just tuck away hot spots of litter.
I mean, I kind of get that, but also somebody had to throw it out their window for it to fall down that hillside.
It's true, but when it's out of sight, you think you can get away with it. Maybe it's a little like...
Is that what it is? Is that why Pittsburgh is so trashy? Because we hide it well in all those hills?
It's out of sight, out of mind. Well, that's one thought. But then we also know that there's all these abandoned vacant lots and properties that really just become magnets for litter.
What's behind that, though? I mean, is it our weather, limiting when we can pick this stuff up? Do we need more trash cans in more places? It makes me wonder if, as people, we're just grosser than we should be.
Yeah. So when we talk about, why litter exists in anywhere, I think there's, a lot of different schools of camp. People want to say there's not enough infrastructural support.
That means trash cans and people cleaning it up and that kind of thing?
Trash cans, or just access to easy disposable methods of getting rid of your stuff. Or maybe the recycling rules are really confusing or they change all the time. So it's we're not setting people up for success with how to get rid of trash.
Okay.
So that's more of a systems approach. But then we can also look at individual behavior. We know that, people are the ones who are often littering things. And when sometimes people can underestimate the impact of what litter has on the community.
Yeah, they think it's just an apple core. It's just one plastic bag. It's just a cigarette butt. It's not a big deal.
Right. They might think it's going to dispose and enter the environment in some natural way. And
the apple core in the right environment might, but the other ones, not so much.
Sure. Especially cigarette butts. They seem small and less impactful, but one single cigarette butt will pollute 250 gallons of water.
My mouth just fell open. That's so much.
I know. They're full of like a lot of different types of plastics and chemicals. And I think people think they're just paper and they'll like decompose, but they're actually pretty bad for our watersheds.
I mean, imagine they're terrible for humans and they're terrible for the environment. Who knew?
Yeah. I think when we talk about litter too, though, it's like, we said there's systems issues with setting people up to make the right choices. There's just individual behavior challenges, but it's also the fact that we have more single-use disposable items than ever before. And a lot of the products that we get just like aren't easy to repair. So it's really interesting. Some of the items that we find most in our illegal dump sites are like very small electronics or flat screen TVs that are costly to get rid of and people just can't repair them.
I mean, I guess I have like a little bit of heart for that, but also I cannot fathom throwing a flat screen TV down a hillside.
Absolutely. Well, you should come out on our Black Friday cleanup because we always find like dozens of flat screen TVs on Black Friday while everyone's going to get new ones.
That's so bleak. I mean, are there spots or like neighborhoods here in Pittsburgh that are maybe worse than others?
Yeah, well, I'd say like all across Pittsburgh, there are challenges, but it's definitely, there's a disproportionate burden put on certain communities. It's not equally distributed, and it's usually communities that are experiencing more like vacant property or divestment in general. So for example, we know that the hilltop neighborhoods like Beltshoover and Allentown are experiencing big challenges right now. So we try to work with local groups on figuring out solutions there.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot, we talk about like why this is happening, and that's very important and crucial, but a lot of your work at Allegheny Cleanways, it sounds like it's also just like dealing with the aftermath. Whatever the reason why it happened, now we are here to try to clean it up to make sure that it's not gonna linger. How do you define what a quote unquote dump site becomes? Like what makes something like unsightly turn into a quote unquote dump site?
Right. So a dump site is like, it's intentional and it's large scale and it's often hidden from view.
It's not just like one or two people, one or two times.
No.
It's like people know now to go dump their stuff here.
Right. And it's different from like your trash cans tipped over in your neighborhood and your neighbor hasn't had a chance to pick it up. I'm intentionally putting this on a hillside. And what's also interesting, Megan, is that a lot of the signs that we have that are put up to prevent dumping with fines actually attracts dumping. There's research that shows that if you have put up like a illegal dump site fine sign, it will tell bad actors that like, oh, this might be a place that this is a hot spot. I can take my trash here.
I feel like I'm learning so much about Pittsburghers like psychology right now that this is like a thing.
It's definitely a lot of interesting human behavior when you talk about litter and dumping.
I mean, how much do y'all pick up within, say, like a year, or however you define a given period?
So we've been doing this for 25 years. And at this point, we've picked up about 8 million pounds of trash. And then in 1 year, we pick up about, hold on, let me do the math because
we've got our calculator out. It's real now.
In 1 year, we pick up about 500,000 pounds of trash.
Oh my gosh.
And that, I have a good Pittsburgh specific comparison. That's about 50 PRT buses.
Worth of trash.
Where do
you even store that? Like, I assume you have to go put it or pay to put it in a dump, like an actual, like, dump.
Right. So when we're picking up litter and cleaning up dump sites, we're disposing of it properly, and most of it is going to landfill.
Yeah. I mean, do you have to do that at like the organization's expense? Because usually you can't just drop off a bunch of trash at a place like that.
Right. We try to work with municipalities where, we bring in our workforce and then they take on the expense of disposal through their Department of Public Works.
Yeah.
We do have to pay for the cost of recycling tires, and that is very costly, which is, part of the problem and part of why there are so many tires dumped, because they're so costly to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's why, like, if you're buying a set of tires, often they will take them from you. And, like, that's part of the incentive of doing it and buying new, or at least buying used from a place that's willing to do that for you. Like, I do get that. I mean, do y'all have, like, I don't know, like, rank for me like the types of things you most often see, because there's like the little litter like plastic forks, but then there's the big stuff like a tire and a TV.
For sure. Yeah. So tires we see very commonly. And this year we're trying to pick up over 6,000 tires.
Like, that there are 6,000 tires out there?
Absolutely. The only thing that holds us back from really just picking up all the tires in Allegheny County is that it's a huge expense for us to actually appropriately dispose of them.
So you have to like do it over time to be able to absorb that cost.
Yes.
Wow.
But we also find a lot of construction debris because that's very costly for small-time contractors to get rid of at landfill. We find furniture. We find a lot of single-use plastics, a lot of like convenience store items. We've also talked about making like a illegal dump site bingo card because weirdly we always find doll heads.
But not the dolls.
Not the dolls. Doll heads.
Okay.
Lots of toys as well.
Interesting. I'm sure my cleanup bingo card is so much smaller than yours, but in my very limited experience, like with hillside cleanups in particular, because that's most of what I've helped with before, I've just been really surprised by how many times I have seen a full shopping cart. Or actually, you know what? This one is still there. There's a bathtub close to my house.
That's interesting. You found a bathtub.
A blue bathtub for about 10 years, slowly making its way down the hill.
I had a toilet outside my house and I kept driving past it and I eventually just started taking it apart piece by piece before I got home every day. But we recently found a hot tub in the river and all of our volunteers had to pull it out of the muck from the river.
I mean, that's intense. Like you need special machinery usually to be able to pull up something that big. Like that's what it took for when, those little boats capsize or whatever, you have to have the cranes to yank them out.
And we do have that equipment. So another thing about Allegheny Cleanways is we have pretty specialized crew who are trained in how to do this. We have 2 trucks, we have a dump truck, we have 2 boats and a barge, and we have a crane, we have a winch, we have a lot of tools to really make an impact.
Gosh, Kayla, y'all could host your own Touch-a-Truck event.
Oh my God, we could host our own. But I think despite all that equipment, what really makes the biggest impact is when we have 10 to 20 volunteers come out and clean up a dump site. What would look like a super burdensome hillside full of tires that you would think this is going to take days to get rid of. You form a daisy chain and suddenly everyone's just moving all the tires up the hillside in 10 minutes. And it's just really such a beautiful testament to what we could do when we put our forces together.
We are coming at you today thanks to FA Climbing and Fitness in Pittsburgh. It's over in Station Square on the south side, a premier indoor climbing facility with a lot of space, huge pads to fall on, and a really nice free weight area, plus the nicest staff you can imagine. Whether you have been sending since the days of the Stone Masters or it's literally your first time laying eyes on a climbing shoe, FA Climbing and Fitness in Pittsburgh is here to help. They will show you how to safely fall. They'll give you a nice tour. They have color-coded routes at all ability levels, so you're sure to get a challenge no matter where you're at. And you can also do yoga, try out the gym, sit on the couch and watch the river go by. It's all included in your day pass or membership, which, by the way, if you are hearing this, then you qualify for a BOGO deal. CityCast listeners can buy one day pass and get one free. If you already have a membership, just share it with a friend. Rental gear is all included, plus 2 hours of free parking, and they have student and family passes too. Trust, the climbing community is amazing. You don't have to be good. You just have to be down for a good time. Learn more and get your BOGO passes at faclimbing.com/citycast. Let's climb Pittsburgh. This episode of CityCast Pittsburgh is supported in part by City Theater Company. This fall, they are putting on a play called Another Kind of Silence, written by L.M. Feldman. And if you're a theater aficionado, this one you probably should miss. It's one of the most ambitious productions in city theater history. The play is all about Chap and Evan, who meet each other in sunny Athens, and they fall in love. But the story is not simple because both of these women are already in other relationships. friendships. Another kind of silence is a journey of language, desire, dreaming. You don't want to miss the bilingual and bicultural world premiere in English and American Sign Language. And you'll leave feeling inspired and hopefully heartened by the show's wanderlust and wonder. It runs from September 20th to October 12th. You can get your tickets at citytheatercompany.com. CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today thanks to the Frick Pittsburgh Museum and Gardens and a new award-winning tour of their historic home, Clayton. It's called Gilded, Not Golden. I have taken it, and it's a fresh perspective about the Frick family, all centered on a very big year here in Pittsburgh history. So 1892, the Homestead strikes. The Fricks had a little home construction project going. Someone attacked Henry Clay Frick, and all of this while he and his wife are mourning the death of their child. You'll also learn about Pittsburgh's Millionaires Row and exactly what it took for Frick to get there. He was a millionaire by the age of 30. And you'll see the breakfast room, aka the poker table, where at least a time or two, most of the world's wealth was literally concentrated into a single dining room. History is complicated and this home is special. That's what the Frick wants to share with you. The Frick's Gilded, Not Golden tours of Clayton run Tuesdays through Sundays from 10:15 a.m. through 3 p.m. Get your tickets and learn more at thefrickpittsburgh.org. Well, let's talk a little bit about those cleanups and kind of how they work, because I think from what we've read, you'll have two types. There's the ones on land and the ones on water. So let's start with the land-based ones and kind of how they work and how folks tap in.
Sure. So our land-based illegal dump site program is called Dump Busters, and we focus on hillsides and vacant lots. We do cleanups 4 days a week, all year round. And a lot of people ask us, do we work in the wintertime? That's actually the best time to do work because all the knotweed is gone and all the litter is exposed.
You can actually see it all, yeah.
Yeah. And we always welcome volunteers to our events. No experience is required. We provide all of the safety training, the gear, the gloves, the vests. We do ask you to bring closed-toed shoes and long sleeves. And it's a lot of fun. You actually get to meet some interesting people in Pittsburgh. You get to find cool trash treasures and take them home if you'd like. And yeah, I think it's just a really great way for people to come together and talk about the kind of community they want to see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about the river ones? It seems like those might be a little more complicated just because there are boats and things involved.
Right. Yeah. So our river cleanups, those occur between May and October. And our volunteers will come out a couple times a week during that period to clean up trash that accumulates on riverbanks and shorelines. So we can say that our organization and our volunteers have helped us remove all of the legacy trash that's accumulated on the riverfront over the years. So right now we're kind of in a maintenance phase of just grabbing stuff that collects.
I mean, what's the difference, I guess, because I'm thinking of sitting by, the river trail, for example, in the Strip District. If you look across the Allegheny, for the longest time, there were all these rusty boats kind of along the riverside. Yeah. And a lot of them had some genuinely interesting graffiti. Yeah. It almost kind of looked like some of them have become sort of haphazard art installations. At what point does it become a thing that you want to step in and fix it?
Right. I know the boat you're thinking of that's capsized on the Allegheny. And I think
it was there forever. Yeah, I may still be there. I haven't been on the trail in a minute.
I think it is still there, and it's been part of the environment. And there's another spot in Station Square that has a big fabric art piece that we keep there because it's public art. So, or if it's the unhoused population and it's their tents, we're not going to move people's homes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm glad your team is able to take the time to think about those things, to develop these best practices, and also just stop and think what is art? What should stay?
Right. I think when you do this work though, there is an interesting philosophical question of what is litter? What is away? And it's really can be a subjective decision of what belongs in what place.
I got to imagine doing this work has really I hope I'm not projecting, but I imagine it has to influence how you experience the world and your staff and your volunteers, the things you buy and how you engage with products. I mean, is shopping complicated for you and your brain?
Oh, absolutely. It's always a matter of like, why is there so much single-use plastic everywhere, and how can I reduce that? Because we just come across so much of it that's littered. And there's a lot of recent research that's come out that said that only like 9% of the world's plastic ever created has been recycled.
Does that feel daunting for you? Or does it, I mean, maybe on the flip side, maybe it's like why you're excited by the work you do.
Yeah, for sure it's daunting, but what is exciting about our work is that when we bring out between 800 and 1,000 volunteers every year, they start having the same kind of recognition happening with them about litter, waste, and produced items that are just like so prolific in our lives that don't have a responsible end life destination. So it's exciting to see those wheels turn for folks and to be, working on some solutions downstream of the issue.
Yeah. Well, let's say someone's hearing this and they're thinking like we are of the thing near where they live or someplace that they go by every day. They think maybe this qualifies as a dump site. What is the best way to report it to y'all?
Go to AlleghenyCleanways.org. We have a report a dump site tool. And once you put it there, it'll be on our radar. So we know we'll go out and assess it and make sure it qualifies as a dump site. And we will put it on our list of sites to clean at some point.
Gosh, Kaylee, how long is your list right now?
It's pretty long. We have potentially like close to 1,000 dump sites.
Are these like habitual places that like you just have to go back to over and over? Or do you ever just get to clean something up and consider it done?
Some we clean are considered done. Others are habitual, but we also like work upstream on this problem and work with communities on solutions that we know help prevent dumping from happening again.
Do you encourage folks to try to do their own cleanups, or would you prefer they tap in with you?
Yeah. So, we're a crew of about 12 staff, and we're not going to tackle this whole litter illegal dumping issue on our own. We wish we could. So it's really people power is what's going to solve this. And, we support a lot of different neighborhood-based litter groups. I want to shout out a couple of them.
Yeah, please.
Pretty Up Beachview does a great job. We know Urban Trails in Marshall Shadeland does a lot of regular cleanups. There's a group in Shadyside Street Stewards that cleans up litter.
I'm impressed at the creativity of these names, too.
Yeah. Oh, our favorite one, 412 Redder Uppers in the North Side. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. But we love helping neighborhood groups get started. We have supplies that we can help lend. We can give them advice on how to organize a cleanup. Oh, and we have to shout out the city's Garbage Olympics event that happens every year where neighborhoods can compete to pick up the most litter.
Oh, that's true. I did that one year when I actually wasn't even my neighborhood. It was a friend of mine that lived somewhere, and they were just like, we need extra bodies. Can you come help for a couple hours? Cool. It was really fun. And I think it helped that it felt competitive for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. We're a sports town. People want the championship belt, even if it is having the most litter in the city.
100%. So you said report a dump site directly to y'all. Folks can organize their own cleanup. They can tap into an existing neighborhood group. Anything else that you recommend?
Follow Allegheny Cleanways on all of our social media and get on our newsletter because we're always posting cool pictures and ways to get involved. Lots of fun events.
Trash pictures.
Yes, we'll post trash or treasure polls, and you can help us determine if what we find is indeed trash or treasure.
Amazing. We
have a program right now called Eco Scouts, where people are just learning about waste systems and consumption to understand, like, it's like there's so much disposable stuff that we have right now that we don't need. Or they're also learning about repair and reuse. So like Old Flame Mending is coming in and teaching them how to like sew clothes and talking about mending things that we have. And we are piloting a project this summer on 376 from Wilkinsburg to the Fort Pitt Bridge exit. So you could start seeing less litter there very soon. So keep your eyes peeled.
Kaylee, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I hope to see you at a cleanup in the future. That would be so much fun.
It would be an honor. Thanks, Megan.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you are loving the idea of the Garbage Olympics, well, it was this past weekend. So thank you to all the participants because you're making us all look better. We appreciate that. But if you're bummed you missed out, don't be. You've now got nearly a year to pick your team, so start hopping. Also, check out Allegheny Cleanway's new immaculate collection of cleanup events. We love Madonna, we love Franco, we love a pun. There is a cleanup tonight in Wilkinsburg, one in McKeesport on Friday, and Allegheny Cleanways is also celebrating its 25th birthday on Saturday with what else? A cleanup. We've got a link in our show notes to all of it. And if you like what you hear from us, you can support CityCast Pittsburgh and help keep us going by becoming a neighbor. That's our membership program. All the details and the nice perks that you get, those are at membership.citycast.fm. We will be back tomorrow with more from around the city. Take care. I have to know, what is the best piece of trash treasure you have ever found?
My father and I used to dumpster dive a lot, and we found...
Wow, you really came to this work naturally.
For sure. We found an entire set of like 20 Willie Nelson records in a dumpster, just sealed entirely. We still have them.